Hi everybody. So in this video, I just want to go over a few things on the prompt to make sure you don't miss them, and then also to offer you a few resources and tips. So our topic for this essay is going to be some issue within the criminal justice system that you learned about when we were reading Brian Stevenson's book, Just Mercy. So I've listed a few things here, but there are many more issues that he talks about. So if you want to move beyond this list, by all means you can. Our goal is to write an essay of at least 1,200 words. And we want to demonstrate that we understand the complexity of the issue. So what that means is we don't want to just kind of take our stance on, say, capital punishment, and the essay is just on your stance, but rather you want to illustrate that you understand the other side of the issue. So if you are against capital punishment, your goal would be to understand, or would be to demonstrate that you understand why somebody would support capital punishment. So our goal is always going to be to make sure that we give voice to the other side, but still maintain our own position. I've given you guys two different templates here that you can use to make sure that you are doing that. So I highly encourage you guys to go ahead and check out those different templates, see which one kind of makes more sense to you or fits your topic a little bit better. But if you're following these different templates, it'll ensure that you are constantly coming back to kind of not just kind of having tunnel vision on your own stance, but that you're demonstrating that you understand where someone else might be coming from as well. Okay, so that's kind of the major goal of the essay. As you are drafting your essay, make sure you're thinking about all the stuff we just learned from the rhetorical analysis essay. So now it's time to start deploying some of these things in our own writing. So we learned about how other writers were demonstrating their ethos and pathos and using different modes of development. Now it's time for us to kind of try these things in our own writing. So make sure you're kind of employing those different things in your writing as well. So before you start the assignment, I want you guys to kind of go through the critical thinking questions. So you have a separate assignment to do that. So just make sure you've kind of thought about what it actually looks like to be a critical thinker. And that's the spirit that we want to engage this assignment, and under that kind of those habits of critical thinking that are linked here as well. Okay, so the big things, kind of your hit list of things that you need to make sure you do when you write your essay. Make sure you kind of go through this little chart here to make sure you've done all of these things. Within the chart, I've linked to a whole bunch of other videos here, so you can go ahead and kind of learn a little bit more about the hot introduction or learn a little bit more about test body paragraphs. But right now I want to talk about scholarly sources. So you need to make sure you have 4 sources for the essay, and one has to be a scholarly source. So what is a scholarly source? You can go ahead and click on that link, and I've also given you more information about what a scholarly source looks like. Sometimes they're called academic sources. It's the same thing, scholarly, academic. Those terms can be used interchangeably. Okay, the other source that you need to use of those 4 is Stevenson's book. So you will have your scholarly source, Stevenson's book, and then 2 additional sources. Make sure you're avoiding popular sources. So those are things that are kind of filled with ads. Okay, so where can you find these scholarly sources? So I'm going to encourage you guys to use the library databases. So here I'm at the Palomar College homepage. We're going to go up to library up in the top navigation. When we get to the library, you're going to be looking at the sidebar here, and you're looking for databases. So go ahead and select databases, and I've already logged on. So you might have a little pop-up here that asks you to give your eServices username and password, so go ahead and enter that. There are 2 databases that I'm going to recommend that you guys use for this assignment. The first one is the one that pops up right here, Academic Search Complete. So when you click on that database, you're going to see that it's kind of has a Google look and feel, and we're just going to go ahead and put in whatever thing that you're interested in. So let's say you're interested in mandatory minimum sentencing. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of look at the options here. I'm just going to leave it just as the general sentencing. And when we do our searches, this database, so Academic Search Complete, actually tells you if you have an academic or scholarly source with this little icon here. You'll see that some of these other ones maybe here, we've just got a periodical. So you want to make sure that you're choosing at least one academic journal. So this is a really good database to use. The other database that I'm going to recommend to you guys is going to be Opposing Viewpoints. So from this collection of databases, you're going to choose O for opposing. So, and you'll see Opposing Viewpoints and Context pops up. When you go to this database, it's got a little bit different look and feel, but you can go ahead and use your same search terms. And here, you're going to see that they organize the information a little bit differently, but likewise, they tell you what is an academic journal. So here you've got 8 different academic journals, and then you've got some other ones that are just different viewpoints, probably written in magazines or newspapers. So make sure you're choosing at least one academic journal. Okay, let's get back into our prompt. So we want to make sure we do that. If you aren't familiar with proper source integration, we want to make sure we're not dropping in sources and all that stuff. Make sure you check out these videos. And I also want to highlight direct quotes should be no more than 2 lines. So keep your quotes within a manageable length, no big giant block quotes for this essay. Okay, and then I give you resources for all the different formatting things. If you don't recall how to do the different formatting things, make sure you're looking at these different resources. Okay, the other thing I highly recommend that you guys do is before you submit the essay, go through the rubric and make sure you did each one of these things. So I'm going to be creating your essay with the rubric, so you can kind of use the rubric to make sure that you've done everything that you needed to do on this essay. So let's say you go through the rubric and you're like, oh no, I forgot to do the overview of the issue. Then you can come back and revise that part of the essay before you submit it. So make sure you use the rubric kind of as your kind of checklist to make sure you've done everything for the assignment. Okay, and then also in the prompt, I've given you all kinds of other tools here that'll help you write the essay, so make sure you check out those other tools. And that's it. So email me if you have any questions, you guys. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy writing this essay. We'll talk soon.